What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Align of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of The Ready Room, where we discuss the going on around, where I kind of give you a state of where we're at with things and kind of talk about where we're going next. So, first up, man, this one is going to be super cool. Wonderfest is this week. Now, as I record, it's about a week out still, but for release, I'll be referencing it as if it was this week. Yeah, Wonderfest is this week, and I'm going to be leaving on Thursday. It's going to be a blast. It doesn't start until Saturday, but for all of us guys that are part of HTM, we're all meeting up and doing some cool things, and we're going to be streaming and all that. We'll talk about that here in a second, but the festivities are going to start for our group on Friday. Probably even Thursday night, but I'm probably not getting until super late. But for me, this is like the first time flying in 11 years, and it's going to be pretty damn cool. I'm really looking forward to that. So, yeah, it's going to be a blast getting ready to get everything shipped out. Got some things, like obviously you can't bring knives, and I'm going to bring a hobby knife and some chemicals with me, and I'm shipping that out along with Ian's package as well. As I wasn't paying attention when booked my flights, and I have to check a carry-on bag the way there, but not the way back, and it's been a mess. I haven't flown in a while, so yeah, it's been the first time in a long time that I've flown to the East Coast, and so I'm just kind of getting prepared for all that. But yeah, so when it comes to Wonderfest, we're going to be streaming live on Friday as we always do, but this time our faces are going to be on camera, not the models. This ugly mug right here is going to be making the face reveal for the first time. Yeah. You'll soon see why I have a face for radio. We'll have most of the stream group together, and then there are likely going to be several special guests. There's some special models that Todd and Steve are going to be unpackaging and showing, and it's going to be a blast. We're not going to be streaming this Wednesday for the Perfect Grade Falcon stream, as we normally do, as some of us are going to be either traveling or getting ready to travel. So, yeah, no Perfect Grade stream this week. We'll be resuming that next week. But, yeah, so a lot of the streaming group is going to be together. You're going to be able to see all of us and ask us questions through chat and all that jazz. And I think we might be streaming to our individual channels for that stream, as it is kind of a special event. We tend to not do that for the bigger streams just because, or the regular streams, just because it can get really confusing with chat. And while I'm at Wonderfest, I'm going to be recording the model room, and we'll be interviewing the HTM members. I've got a series of questions that are just absurd, and I can't wait to share all that with you. So I'm going to be kind of putting the questions over the top of the model room tour, and we'll be doing a Wonderfest special at the end of next week. Now, speaking of Wonderfest, here is the Razor Crest. Now, I had high hopes that I was going to be able to get this finished. It was one of those things where, with a regular model, I probably could have gotten it done. I've been able to build a model in a week. This one, I probably been able to pull off, but with the complexity with all of the green strawberry mods, guys, it's not going to be ready in time. I was starting to rush this model, and I started making mistakes, and I decided I need to stop. So let's go ahead and show where we're at real quick. I'll go ahead and give you a progress update. Now look, this model has turned out fantastic so far. The paint job has once again, it looks amazing. Where I started rushing was when I started building Mando's bedroom and his bathroom. Let's see if I can get... Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras over here. That's the other beauty of what I got going on here, is I can switch to different cameras. So, catch some of that light in there, possibly. So Mando's, it doesn't come through very well because of the colors that I painted. I will, when we resume the episodes of this, I will get some close and detailed look at that. But basically, I did get Mando's. This one might not be too bad of a different angle. So there at the end of the hallway is Mando's bathroom and bedroom. And let me see if I can zoom in. Kind of grainy, but that's what it is. I was able to do an okay job. It turned out okay. The problem is, if you see right below the netting there, the paint job that I did on the netting didn't turn out so well. And then some of the CA decided to go ahead and leak down and mess up the paint. And things happen. So, overall, it was an okay job. The paint job on the inside, I need to go through with an airbrush and clean up. So, needless to say, I was rushing. And what wound up happening is I realized that there's no way I'm going to do this model justice, especially with all the green strawberry stuff. I needed to slow down, take my time. And really, one of the plans that I had for this was to do a diorama. And, it's just... man, it is what it is. And I've decided, what? We're not bringing this to Wonderfest. And I'm not going to try. I needed to step away from it. This model was also giving me a lot of anxiety. Obviously, I have other content on this channel. And for me, it was one of those things where every time that I was building something else, I was feeling guilty about not building this. But then every time that I would stop building that thing and then go build this, I would feel guilty about not building the other thing, and it just turned into this repetitive cycle where I wasn't actually getting anything done, and it turned into be something really, really frustrating, and so I decided I needed to kind of step away. Paying attention to anxiety and all of those things matter, and sometimes, you just got to know when to say when. So we're going to continue this series on. This is going to fill our Star Wars slot, and we're going to do a magnificent job. And the way I look at it is no model is done until it's fully lit, number one, and that was going to have to be one of the compromises I was going to make here. And number two, I want this to be part of a diorama. I've got a whole idea for what this model can look like, and I really just kind of want to make that happen. So this model is not going to be complete for a while. We're going to complete the main build, move on to something different, but then we're going to come back as I get the pieces together for a diorama, and we will continue on with this build. This is likely going to be, and I don't want to put words on it right now, but I'm going to anyway. This likely is going to be the Wonderfest 2025 build, and I want to bring a few models with me, and this is probably going to be my main one. So I'm going to take my time and likely have another year to complete this and get it all really nice and well done. So that is the Razor Crest, and once again, I had to kind of know when to say when, and the paint job has turned out really, really well. It's assembled really, really well. The parts go together really, really well. I mean, overall, I am not sad at all. You can see some of the photo etch down below there. The weapons mod went together really well. The engine pods, I mean, once again, things have done, it's most of the way there, but I just wasn't going to get there in time, not without compromising this model, and I was not going to compromise a model when Green Strawberry has been so kind to me. So, we are going to go ahead and use this as our regular Star Wars scale mod build series, and we'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. Now, speaking of Wonderfest and the Razor Crest, I wanted to bring something with me, and I have basically finished the Slave 1. It's been a long build, and I wanted to bring something with me, and it was the model that I was closest to being finished. I thought about maybe trying to bring the Enterprise C, maybe bring the Defiant, but the Defiant, as for as good as it turned out, has its flaws, and so I'm like, well, I'm finishing the Slave 1, let's go ahead and do so. So I did. And if you guys have been watching the HTM streams lately, you guys have seen me finish up that, especially over the last week. And you guys have seen the progress. I'm going to go ahead and hold off now to show you because I have the last 2 episodes shot, and we'll be releasing those on Fridays for the next couple of weeks. And then we're going to be moving on to the Razor Crest once that series is complete. But the penultimate episode is going to be coming out this Friday. And this build has, like, once I switched shooting styles and I just started working on building it in segments when I was feeling good about building, the results just, oh man, it turned out so good. I'm not going to show you guys because if you have already seen it on stream, good for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for the next couple of episodes. But, man, I am really proud of the way this turned out. And let me just say that the lighting job turned out really well. The paint job turned out really well. I don't know. It's just been a blessed build. So I'm super excited to bring that to Wonderfest. I'm not expecting to place or anything. I just want to bring a model with me to Wonderfest because that's what we do. Next year's expectations are going to be much, much higher for me. So, speaking of schedule, to kind of bring it up, and that's the big thing for this Ready Room this month, is to kind of talk about the schedule and what's been happening around Align of the Stars. This month has been a very challenging month for me. I don't know how, at one point, I was putting out 7 episodes a week. I don't know. I really just have no clue. It was one of those things where I look back at the schedule that I was keeping and I don't even know. Probably got manic. It was a lot of fun building and editing and creating videos and figuring out my way and my brand and all of those things. But man, let me tell you, I killed myself. I burned out and it became a job. And when anything becomes a job, work sucks. And I gotta say that, I had to do something because, we've built a community. I've joined up with Hobby Time Modelers and, the community that I found there, I make the videos for you guys, basically, and I had lofty expectations in the beginning because, there was some things that were happening. I was getting some success, but now I'm going through the usual ebbs and flows of YouTube and I've kind of just settled in and I've realized that the people who watch my content are engaging with me and anybody who wants to come for the ride, that's awesome. But what I'm not going to do anymore is kill myself for this. It was very difficult to maintain the level of work that I was doing. I was shunning a lot of responsibilities. Work was struggling So, to say all of that, here is how we're going to be approaching our schedule going forward. I've got a lot of models I'm building. I think now with the Razor Crest coming into the regular schedule and with the Slave 1 exiting, I will now have 7 models that I'm building. That's a lot. It's a lot. But I want to continue on with all of those builds, but do so in such a way that makes sense. So what we're going to be doing, and this is just going to be the full schedule, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of keep it ticking on the screen as, we roll down here. And I know that was probably weird, so we're going to go here, and then I'm just going to try to, go like that. I'm pre-editing for myself, so to say. So what we're going to be doing is on Mondays, we're going to be doing our Partwork builds. So we're going to be rotating through the D'Agostini Falcon, the Enterprise D, and for all of what I just said, we are looking to add another Partwork build to the set. I want to go to a different company besides FanHome, and I think I can make something happen. So, with that being said, we're going to be adding another one to the mix, and with this recording schedule, this should work because I'm only going to have to focus on one Partwork per week. And so it will rotate through. Every Monday, 1 week will be the D'Agostini Falcon, 1 will be the Enterprise, and then 1 will be the soon-to-be-announced Partwork if everything works out the way it's supposed to. But we're going to be rotating through. Also as well, the Falcon and the Enterprise have both taken on mods. And to do so, it takes a lot more time. The Enterprise D, for as awesome as the resin windows are, it takes time. It's a lot of work. Each one of those panels roughly takes about half hour to an hour, depending on how many windows are in there. And I have still yet to master the curved window. Now, the technique is I got to use my time more effectively. And so, like, I'm going to be recording resining the windows, for instance, while I'm on stream. And then eventually, I won't be recording resining the windows. They will just already be resin, painted, all the things, the mods will all be taken care of, and then we're just going to go ahead and build. And then when we build, we're going to be building basically an entire pack all at once. We're going to be doing the same thing with the Falcon and the upcoming series. I wanted to take this approach because I think that Partworks are very fun and interesting, and I actually love building them more than scale models. But the thing is Partworks are also kind of like repetitive in a lot of ways. And so it's more interesting to me, like when I watch people like World of Wayne and others, when they build an entire pack, it's much more fascinating to me because you get to see a lot of progress done on the model. So eventually over time, like with the Enterprise D, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and resin an entire package and take care of all of the mods that we need to, and then we just assemble. And I want to be able to work on both the saucer and the engineering section, and currently all I'm able to do really is work on the saucer. And for the engineering section, you need to resin the windows, and they're curved, and I haven't mastered that process yet. And the models become a thing. And obviously with the Falcon, it's getting bigger, it's getting monstrous, and I need to do painting. And the beauty of the D'Agostini Falcon is the level of detail work that you get to put into that model. So because of that, I need to make sure that I only focus on one part work per week. Once again, this goes back into how can I effectively manage my time. On Wednesdays, we're going to be doing our Star Trek scale models. So I will be completing the Enterprise C soon. I know I've started to light it, and we've been talking about how we're going to be employing our lights going forward. This model is not clear. There is a transparent Enterprise C, and I really do not want to go through the process of resining these windows, and I have not started this process. I would have needed to start the whole process from the very beginning for lighting the model. So I'm going to keep my lights for this model very simple. I'm going to be powering the engines. I'm going to be powering the deflector dish. I'm going to be powering the impulse engines. And then we're going to be powering the navigation lights. And that's it. I am going to eventually pick up another Enterprise C or Ambassador class kit, and I'm going to get the transparent kit from AMT. And I know one of my subscribers and member of our Discord, he is currently building one, and I'm going to kind of follow along with what he's doing because it's very interesting for his build, and I'd like to do the Excalibur build. If you guys are familiar with beta canon in Star Trek, the Excalibur is a ship, an Ambassador-class ship that was captained by Captain Calhoun. Super cool book series, and I would really love to do an Ambassador class in that. Now, the thing is, the reason I want to do that is because I only use a tiny portion of the Aztec dummy, and otherwise everything else is painted, and it looks good, so I don't need to worry about it. And so I have a whole other Aztec dummy for this, and so eventually in the future we will do an Excalibur build on that. But Star Trek scale models on Wednesdays. Now, after the Enterprise C is finished, I know what we're going to be building next, and we'll be talking about that here in the coming weeks, because I need to start picking up things. Wonderfest is now over. It's an expensive trip. I'm having to travel all across country, and so it's a lot of coordination. But now, after Wonderfest is done, I can kind of coordinate, plan for the future. This is all kind of done over the last couple months, and so, I like to plan things and do things in accordance with things that make sense. So with that being said, I'm going to be taking my time to plan out and get our next build ready to go. And then tomorrow we'll be having the Enterprise C series return, as I realized too that throughout the entire month of May I haven't released a single Star Trek themed episode, and for me that blows my mind. That's changing tomorrow. The Enterprise C will return with a custom deflector lighting, and I just recorded it, and guys, it turned out pretty damn cool. So, that's going to be tomorrow. And the new schedule starts tomorrow. Basically, the Mondays, the Partworks is going to start next week, but then the new schedule starts tomorrow. Outside of tomorrow, I will also be streaming regularly on Wednesday nights for the Perfect Grade Millennium Falcon group build with Hobby Time Modelers. We stream that to all of our channels in the group who are building it. There are 6 of us, and I'm going to give you an update on the Falcon that I've been building. And this is just a fun series. I really love building this model. Streaming, just to make it clear, is something that is super easy to do. I really enjoy doing and spend a lot of time doing it, and it's content that I don't have to edit. Because you guys also have to realize that when we record, you got to edit and you got to layer it, and it just takes time. And so streaming is extraordinarily easy. The Perfect Grade Falcon is something we only build on stream, and I get to just set it and put it away and for like everything but 2 hours during a week, and it's super fun to build, and I really love checking out. I really love building on those streams, and so you should definitely check out the Wednesday night Hobby Time Model group build of the Perfect Grade Bandai Falcon. Now, on Thursdays, I am going to start streaming regularly. Now, be it Night Shift, Dockyards, or other projects, streaming on Thursdays will be just a regular part of my rotation. Likely only going to stream for a couple of hours. And like I said, streaming is a wonderful way of connecting to the community. I really enjoy building and interacting and chatting with people as you go along. And, you know, like the community, the Hobby Time Modelers community, and all you guys that watch my videos, like, it's just a blast. I love it. And streaming is so easy to do. All I got to do is turn on the cameras, turn on the microphone, and go. And when I'm able to do that, it's freeing, and I'm able to just build and hang out with my friends, and like it's content, like I said, that I don't have to pay attention to once I'm done with. And I really value that, because then I could focus on making higher quality content, because that's the other thing as well. With my regular episodes, I'm going to be changing the way I shoot. Obviously, you saw the new, this camera angle. Look at KITT. Look, he just looks amazing. But with other camera angles and so on and so forth, I've decided to shoot a little bit differently. It takes some more planning, and there's some new elements that I'm going to be adding to my videos. So there's just a lot to it. And with streaming, I can get to content. I can get that to you guys. I can have a lot of fun with the community while I'm doing it. And then I can focus on making higher quality content for my regular videos 3 times a week. On Fridays, we're going to be doing Star Wars scale models, just like Wednesdays for Star Trek. The Razor Crest will be filling this spot for the next month or two as we finish up the model and all of the mods. I have an idea what's going to replace the Razor Crest. Now, like I said, the Razor Crest is going to be getting a full diorama, but I just want to finish the model, kind of move on from it for a little bit before we reapproach, because I need to pick up a bunch of things to make that diorama look amazing, including a couple of other models, because I have an idea for what I want to do. But yeah, that's going to be Star Wars scale models on Fridays. So once again, it's going to be Partworks on Mondays, scale models, Star Trek scale models on Wednesdays, Star Wars scale models on Fridays. I'll be streaming a bunch in between, basically. And then on that front, Hobby Time Modeler streams. We stream on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm there every Friday, depending. I could be a little late just for work. And then most Sundays I will be there as well, although I tend to, every other week or so, try to take off and either work with things, around the channel, or take care of things around the home. So you can catch me building for episodes or doing random building of other models that might not be on the channel. And it is always a great time on stream with Hobby Time Modelers. So I'm going to go ahead and link the channel down below in the description. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. You can see an entire list of things that we're going to be doing every single week. But when you think about it, I'm only building 3 things every single week. I'm able to take time to rotate through it. The Hobby Time Modeler streams allows for me to basically work on the builds, because once again, I'm doing a lot of voiceover work these days as opposed to like live stream with edits is what it kind of winds up being. And so the voiceover work allows for me just to hit record and start building. And I'm able to do that on stream as well. I can stream and record at the same time, and basically I can work on my builds. And so it does seem like a lot, but really what I'm doing is focusing on 3 models per week, and it allows for me to work on stuff a little bit during the week. I can work on getting all of the models built for the scale side, and then take time to edit those videos properly. Because what it is you basically record it, then you have to edit it down, and then you watch the edit and record. You basically just talk about what you're seeing, which then needs to be edited again just for any mistakes that might be made, which I make a lot of mistakes. So it's just a little bit more of a time-consuming process, and I'm focusing on the edit itself and getting the watchability of the videos up a little bit through some tips and tricks that I've received from the Todd Father and others. So the idea here is to focus on the builds, focus on creating regular content that you guys can predict, and also give me time to take care of my life, make sure my work is basically my job, the thing that provides for all of this, because I'm not monetized, and I don't know when or if it's going to happen, and I don't really care anymore. It's not a priority. I want to put out good content for people, and if people want to come along for the ride, cool. And if enough people come along for the ride, then I might get a little bit of money off this, but it's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is put out content for the community, and I want to be able to put out content for the community that continues to improve and grow and get better as I continue to improve and grow and get better at all of these things. Because the thing that I just realized recently is to be a YouTuber specifically for this model, like model building, you have to be a semi-expert on several different things. You need to be good at lighting. You need to be good at cameras. You need to be good at recording. You need to be good at editing. Oh, and also there's this thing where you got to be good at building the things, right? And then you got to put all that together, and then you got to be good at navigating the YouTube landscape and then interfacing with the community. It is a lot. Add that to having a personal life and work and taking care of yourself, it is a lot. And so for me to do this and scale back, I don't know, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, how I was doing 7 at a time. I really don't, and I'm not doing that again. That's all I got to say about that. So that's the whole point of all that. I want for you guys to have regular content that you guys can predict. You'll know that it's Monday, you'll know that it's Wednesday, you know that it's Friday. And if you're not paying attention to a calendar, at least you'll know that, hey, on those days, it's that day because it's that thing that's coming out. And so if that made any sense to you, that's amazing, because it barely made sense to me. So let's go ahead and do a quick little review. I'm going to show a couple things with the Partworks that I have collected right now, talk about some of the delays that I'm experiencing through Fan Home, and then I'm going to start with showing you the progress from the Perfect Grade Falcon. All right, so there it is, and I cannot convey the level of detail that goes into this. Like, look at that docking ring. Like, how close can I get that? There we go. Look at the detail inside that docking ring. That's just freaking amazing. And each one of those greeblies are put on one by one. Same thing along with the side. You can see a transmission bit up there in the top left, so this is going to be, that's a bit of a transmission from something. These are all random tank parts. I am not an armor person, so these are, I believe, are part of the suspension, and like they hold up or down the tracks or something. They have something to do with the suspension on a tank. Please don't roast me. I have no idea about armor. But, yeah, so, this is basically the bottom half of the Falcon. And we'll go ahead and turn it over. And we have built both of these maintenance pits. And each one of those, pipes and tubes and wires, all of those things were individually added as we went along. And have the same thing there. This model's insane, you guys. Here's one of the landing lights. I have painted the rear, the engine grills. I'm going to be removing these clear parts, and we're going to be putting a clear cob inside. I'm going to be picking that up I think Todd's going to be bringing some 2.7 volt ice blue cobs to for a bunch of us to Wonderfest for this. So I'm going to be taking this diffuser part back, but I'm just leaving it in it for now. But this is the Perfect Grade Falcon. We need to add the mandibles. Mandible. Up front here. Each one of the mandibles has been built, but we have to complete the outside ring before we attach the mandibles. So that's probably going to be what we're going to be doing in the stream number 11, which is going to be the week after next. So here's a little bit of an update for the Perfect Grade Falcon. And guys, there's no glue here. This thing is just holding itself together on its own. That's why it's the Perfect Grade. It literally, you don't need glue. But man, this model is super cool and it's turning out super good. I'm super pleased with the progress on this one. Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. All right, so here's the next kit package. Let's go ahead and open it up real quick. Not going to really go into too much detail, but let's see here. This is stage 13, and doesn't look like a whole lot, but there is some detail and stuff that I'm recognizing a little bit, although these look like shock absorbers, actually. That's pretty cool. This is a big piece. This is stage 14, and this looks like a wheel well. Very cool. I think we're going to be basically building the whole front end of the car in this next package. I would be correct. Holy crap. Here is the bottom of the, basically it's the center of the car. So we're going to be hooking everything up to that. Very, very cool. And then we have another wheel well. And I know that we're going to be building another wheel here soon. And we're going to have the front end of KITT all put together. And soon, my friends, he won't be able to live here on my workbench anymore, which will be pretty cool. All right, so here's the next package of the Enterprise D. Oh, man. I've got so many of these now, it's unreal. I'll show that to you in a second. But in this one, fairly straightforward. You know, more windows that we don't need to do anything with. A whole panel and a neck panel, which is pretty cool. So the windows for that neck panel, and then another whole panel. More of the neck panel and some curved panels, curved neck panel, and then we have a die cast, which is going to be a row 2 or 3. And then another die cast piece. But I think there's an interesting piece on here where, yeah, so we're going to have to be doing some light blocking, and then we have one of our underneath transporter emitters, which is pretty cool. So we got a lot of that's coming up. So that's package number 10. And we're going to need to do one of these moves real quick, where I take this and just put it into the pile of other Enterprise pieces. I remember in the beginning, my friends, when I had not enough to do all of this. And now I have got 3 months worth of packages stacked up and ready to go. Which works out. Go ahead and get this closed. So I need to clear some space off of my closet, number 1. But it winds up working out because there have been delays for both the Millennium Falcon and the Enterprise. Both for about 2 or 3 weeks, which has worked out because all 3 of my Partworks come together at the same time. So it's worked out perfectly. And I figured out a shooting schedule to make this work. And so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue our mods. And next week, with the Partwork entry on Monday, when I'm coming back from Wonderfest, we're going to be revisiting the Enterprise D and getting at least 2 hull panels put into place, where we're going to be reviewing all of the mods to date. And I'm really excited about getting started on this one again, and I'm going to start practicing on my curved windows because I need to start getting the engineering section going, because eventually I'm going to create the whole top of the hull of all the whole panels, but then the engineering section, like, I'm going to have to go back to stages, and I just don't want to do that. So that's what I got for you guys today. I'm off to Wonderfest. We got some regular content coming out. Kind of gave you an update for how everything's looking around here. And I just want to say thank you for all the support that you guys have given to go to Wonderfest this year, and to know that I get to meet up with all the guys and know that there's a whole community behind all of us. And I can speak for all of us, and I will speak for all of us when I say we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. Because let me tell you, like, this is fun, but what makes it a blast and makes it all worthwhile creating these videos and doing all these streams and all of that is the community, and I just want to say thank you. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember that this is the way.